Well, now that we have you all excited about trees, spring, and flowers, we have to report that some of Richland residents may have difficulty watering them this summer. Well, in March, Washington Governor Jay Inslee declared a drought emergency across 3 regions in Washington, citing near record low snowpack levels ahead of the spring runoff. Well, the Yakima Basin is one of the 3 regions to be declared a drought emergency, and the Kennewick Irrigation District may receive only an estimated 73% of its normal water allocation. And while the vast majority of KID customers live in Kennewick, more than 4,100 customers reside right within the city of Richland limits.
90% of the water comes out of the Columbia River. We treat it at the plant there. It's pumped from there to reservoirs you'll see on the mountainsides on the south side of town. What we call the core, which is the old part of Richland, everything basically north of the Yakima River, the original town, they use that water for irrigation, and they can do that. There was no irrigation, there's no infrastructure in there, there's no ditches, there's no irrigation companies in that part of town. So that's what kind of makes this a difficult situation, that those people can use it because there's no irrigation provided for them. And all of the new development south of the Yakima River, most of it anyway, has an irrigation utility that provides them service. And in our growth planning and capacity, we never intended to provide irrigation for those people. So now that we've got a drought coming and there's a possibility of their irrigation water being cut back, we can't allow them to get into the city's water supply, because that'll cause shortages for fire protection or just your basic service levels across the rest of the town. And the other one is a public health issue. You can't connect the 2 systems. I guess the scenario is that somebody connects the system, and then this drought is over and the irrigation system comes on. If their pressure is higher than the city's pressure, there's potential of pushing irrigation water into the domestic system and contaminating the whole domestic system. It has to do with KID, taking water out of the Yakima River. It's going to be impacted, we know it is. And it has to do with your place in your water rights. The oldest water right holders will be the last ones affected by this drought. So as they start cutting back on water, the junior water right holders will be affected first. And we know that KID will be affected. Fortunately, our main water supply is out of the Columbia River, which is the Canadian mountains, and they've got good snowpack. We're looking fine for taking water out of the Columbia River, but we've still only got so much capacity. Our water plant's only so big and we've only got so much storage. So we still can't take on the irrigation utilities customers when they run out of water.
Whether or not we are in a drought emergency, water conservation and protection are very important to our community. We cannot afford to waste this precious natural resource. We strongly encourage you to visit the City of Richland's website, click on Departments, and then Green Living, and then finally Conservation. Once there, you will find great information regarding indoor and outdoor water conservation tips. We really hope that you will take some time and some of these tips to heart and begin implementing them in your daily life. The time is now.
Amen, brother. You are allowed to supplement your KID supplied irrigation system with a garden hose connected to your household domestic water supply. The city can support this limited use of the domestic water supply as long as there is no connection to your irrigation system.